In Waterton, Jobe is known as the Deer Lady. And it's not for her love of Bambi. Parks Canada hired Jobe and 5 of her Border Collie dogs to herd deer out of town during fawning season. Jobe says deer are most aggressive at that time of year.
We're trying to get them to maybe have their fawns out of town and instead of amongst all the people, because when they have amongst people, everyone wants to take pictures and feed them, and then the deer get cranky and start harassing people and the dogs. And so if we can put the instinct back into the deer to have their fawns out of town, that would be a really great thing to do.
Jobe stays in Waterton from the end of May until the middle of July. She says she won't move deer that have already had their fawns in town.
When we go out, we scout around town to see where the deer are, and I notice the deer behavior to see, if they're acting like they want to stick around, it's because I know then they must have a fawn. So I kind of look for that, and if they do, then I'll leave them because I can't move them anyways right now. They're too young. The fawns are too young.
See that deer come back at the dogs?
Yeah.
Look! Look!
Parks Canada wanted deer herded out of town because it prevents larger and more dangerous predators from coming into the area. Ecosystem scientist Barb Johnston says they used Jobe as a pilot project to manage wildlife in Waterton.
From our experience in Banff for several years used dogs to try and herd the elk out of the town site during calving season. And elk are a herd animal, so herding them is a little bit easier, but we thought it would be worth a try for the deer to see if we could get them out of town during the particularly aggressive time, which is fawning season in the spring, to try and reduce the conflicts with people and their dogs.
Oh, see, there's a baby, look at.
Johnston notes they've produced positive results from the project.
We were only focused on the group of deer that were in and around town site that hung out there. So we did some basic population estimates, just doing minimum counts, and we would guesstimate our minimum counts were maybe around 80, which would mean probably closer to 100, 120 deer were in town when we first started this pilot. And over the last 3 years, this is Chris's 3rd year here, and our minimum counts are somewhere between the high teens and low 20s. So we've had a real decrease in the number of deer that are in town, and the number that are fawning in town is way, way down. And the number of encounters or aggressive incidents that are reported is way, way down. So we're very happy with the results.
Jobe says while residents and visitors were resistant at first, she's received an assured response from people.
They're really happy with, that not having so many deer. They still like to see a few deer, but they feel a lot better that, the deer, there's not as many deer as there was in before.
When Jobe isn't managing deer, she trains Border Collies and raises grain-fed sheep out of Medicine Hat. For Go Southern Alberta, I'm Fallon Wagner.